Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to take another quick look at this here picture of the Master of Executions. And we're taking a look at this because a good number of you guys have noticed something a little different in this picture, which to be honest I missed. I was too busy looking at the hooded lad himself. I wasn't really paying attention to the background, which of course is a terrible mistake to make because Games Workshop likes hiding things here and there in these pictures. And indeed, there might be something a little bit different going on in this one as well. Although, I'm struggling with this one. I can't really tell whether the Chaos Lord in the background there, blurred and out of focus as he is, more smudged more than anything by the look of it, is the current kit or a new kit. Now, something that might influence my judgment either way is the fact that I went to the Games Workshop site to get that 360-degree view of the current Terminator Lord, so I could spin the lad around, have a look at him, see if the pose matched up and all that kind of thing, which was a little bit difficult because it's no longer available online on the UK store at least, which is interesting. It also means that I can't get a clear picture of the dude on their own website, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, I'm not going to lie, but Google Images have saved the day, and I'm currently just having a little glance through. Now, here's the thing. Some bits of it, I think, in fairness, are current. The wing on the left, the spike on the right, it's a little bit difficult to make out what is at the base of that spike on the right because the picture's so blurry. Those do look to be the same as the current kit, although I will admit that whether it's a trick of perspective or what, they seem longer, they seem taller than currently, although I think there's a couple of different bits in that kit which could explain some of it. It's difficult to tell whether that spike has got a Tyranid head on it or not because it's so out of focus, but as it stands, the Dark Angel helm with the wing sticking out is pretty tall already, but it does look a little bit bigger in that picture. It's a little tricky to tell. At first, I thought the axe was different, but actually, I think, to be fair, if you angle the model round to the right slightly, which is what it looks like they've done for this picture, that axe should pretty much line up with the current one. It's always been at a bit of an angle, it's always been kind of a bit off kilter, and the pose on the arm looks just about right. The confusing bits for me are the shoulders and head, like the area where the armor goes above the head. I can see that that doesn't seem to 100% match the silhouette that we currently have. Again, it's tricky, and there's a lot of reading into stuff here because the picture is so out of focus, but that doesn't quite line up with the current kit. It doesn't quite line up with how that shape flows right now. And that could be down to the fact that there are newer shoulder pads on this thing to bring it in line with the new Terminators. It kind of matches that look fairly well. There is obviously a bit of gold trim going on around, like above the head, which could just be the kind of Star of Chaos symbol that you can equip on the current one. Or alternatively, it could be that it's a bit rounder, a bit smoother, because those shoulders in this picture definitely don't really seem to properly follow the same line as they do on the current one. Now you can see the chain hanging down from the old groinal chain there. That looks like a skull. That looks like it's the old piece. The cloak, difficult though it is to make out because of it being red on a red background, does look pretty similar, if not, I was going to say if not the same. I won't make that judgment because it is too blurry to really see, and I think they have actually a mixture of like being saved and uploaded and being actually smudged and blurred, I think is what's happened in the background of this, because there's like a weird smear going on here that you wouldn't get from it just being out of focus. I can't remember whether the Terminator Lord kit currently comes with a bare head. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does. I butchered mine for parts so long ago that I can't remember exactly what it comes with. And I can't get the sprues off the Games Workshop site because the flipping pictures all say sold out online across them. And relax. But The gun arm is a little bit puzzling because I can't see a weapons option that precisely matches that. The gun seems to be relatively small. The arm is at an angle that I don't quite recognise. Although, again, that could just be because it's so blurry. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think, although a lot of you have been fairly convinced that this might be something new, there are a few things on this that line up too closely to the old model for me to be 100% convinced that it's new. Okay? So, I mean, I could well be wrong. In fact, I hope I am, because I did say, I was like, oh, it would have been a shame if we could have got a new one of these, but I can kind of understand why if we don't. I always want new shit. Everyone does. So if it turns out to be new and I'm wrong, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be perfectly happy. But the cloak follows a very similar line to the one that we currently have. Tricky though it is to make out, it does follow that line. The axe looks to be very similar to the one we've already got, and it's at an angle that matches the current one. You can just about see the skull coming down from the chains that hang around from the groin, which, again, matches the current setup for the Terminator Lord kit. The gun arm, there could well be a pose that I'm just not matching up from what's available. Like, as I say, it's a bit tricky using the Games Workshop site because it's out of stock, but it's no longer available online, which, to be honest, really does point me towards thinking there could be something new coming, but it also could just be a repackage with fresh rules and so on. So it's a bit dangerous, kind of reading too much into that. I'm a little bit torn. I would like it to be. There are some things on there that, due to the smudging and the general quality of the photo, make it difficult to tell. But there's also a fair amount of that model, even blurry as it is, like horribly blurry as it is, that matches really quite closely with what we currently have. I think if they were going to do a new, Chaos Terminator Lord, I think they would. I don't think they would match specific bits quite that close. I don't think we would have the skull in the same place on the groin chains. I don't think we would have the cloak be so similar. I don't think we'd have the trophy racks be almost exactly the same as they are now. I mean, I could easily see that just still being a Tyranid head, but purple and blue, which would still make sense. So there could be something to it. I'm not going to rule it out, but for the moment, I'm leaning towards it's just really heavily smudged to the point where we're struggling to make out details, and that is making it look like something it's not. I think it's too close to the current kit. Like, there are bits on it that are too close to the current kit for it to really be a new one. But I would be totally happy to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want one, because of course I bloody do. But I just don't think it's different enough, and I think there are enough similarities that it's probably just the angle it's been photographed from, it's the smudging, it's the stuff in the foreground, it's the way it's been placed against the background that makes it look new, when I'm not entirely sure that it is. I mean, we've got another model right on the right of it that is, a current model. It's coming out of a new model, in fact, a current model walking through a Stargate, because that's what it is, let's be honest. So yeah, I'm leaning towards it still being the old kit, which I don't want to disappoint anyone, but I also don't want anyone to get their hopes massively up and then have it not be true. But I would be really happy if it was actually new, because, well, you just would be, wouldn't you? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.